euglenoids. So the famous example, that is the most common organism that comes under euglenoids is euglena. So euglena is the common organism here. So they are present in fresh water and also in stagnant water. So this is all are aquatic organisms. And instead of cell wall, here the feature is they have the protein-rich layer called pellicle. Pellicle is the outer layer instead of cell wall. So cell wall means it gives rigidity to the cell pellicle. So if pellicle is present, it gives flexibility to body. So the organism is flexible because of the presence of pellicle, which is an elastic layer. It's not such a stiff layer. So it gives flexibility to the body. And here these euglenoids also have two types of flagella. One is a shorter one, the other one is a longer one. So they have two flagella. And another main feature about this euglenoids is that you know that the euglenoid is photosynthetic. So why they are photosynthetic? And they are actually similar to plants in that they have chloroplast. They have chloroplast. So they can photosynthesize and they can prepare their own food. But if there is no light, the absence of sunlight, what happens is they behave like heterotrophs. So what do you mean by heterotrophs? Heterotroph means they are dependent on the other organisms for food. So though they can prepare their own food because of the presence of chloroplast, but if the sunlight is absent, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other organisms. So they feed on other organisms. So this is one of the specific feature in the case of the euglenoids. So it is called the mixotrophic nutrition. Mixotrophic nutrition. So what do you mean by this mixotrophic nutrition? That is, they act both as autotroph and heterotroph. They can prepare their own food and also they can get the food from others, that is other organisms. So they act as autotrophs and heterotrophs. So this type is called the mixotrophic nutrition. So the pigments are identical to those of higher plants. So what do you mean by this? The pigments that are responsible for photosynthesis actually are same as that of in the higher plant, which is similarly like chlorophyll A. The pigments here are also like chlorophyll A, then chlorophyll B, and xanthophyll. So these pigments are similar to that of the higher plants. So they can photosynthesize their own food. Only the main difference is they can act as both autotroph and heterotroph. So that is called the mixotrophic nutrition. And if you see this is the structure of euglena. So here you can see the pellicle. The outer layer is the pellicle. This is an elastic structure, so they don't have any rigid cell wall. So they have the chloroplast and the nucleus and nucleolus because they are the eukaryotes. So they have the well-defined nucleus and nucleolus, and they have the structures that is called stigma, ice part. This is called ice part. They are responsible for light perception and flagella. So here there will be two types of flagella, the longer one and the shorter one. So this cavity is called the reservoir. This cavity is the reservoir, and this flagella actually arises from this cavity, and the small flagella will reside within this cavity. And there are the contractile vacuoles which are responsible for osmoregulation. That is maintenance of fluid and electrolyte balance in the body. So they are responsible for maintaining the osmoregulation. And the main storage form of food here is the form of fat and also a substance that is called paramylin. It's the storage form of food. It is stored as fat and paramylin. So these are the specific features of euglenoids. That is, they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, but in the absence of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other organisms. So even there is no light, they can survive by depending on other organisms. And the pigments are identical to those of the higher plants. So they are similar to higher plants. And they have the contractile vacuoles, which are responsible for osmoregulation. And the storage form of food is as fat and paramylin. So there is at the anterior part, there is a cavity which is called the reservoir. So these are the main features of euglenoids. Clear?